Hammer time.
7:45. We are back. Time to look at movies. A Japanese manga series coming to life. The sci-fi thriller Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, do you remember the 1995 animated cult classic? Scarlett Johansson plays a futuristic cyborg police officer with the brain of a human. Let's get a look.
I have to do a deep dive. I have to get inside her memory.
Consent required for data download.
I give my consent.
What the hell's happening? Disconnect. Get her out!
I'm trying!
Get her out now!
Someone down there.
Woo! So given this is a series,
yes,
it's got a cult following, expectations are high.
Yep.
How did the story play out on the big screen?
Very self-contained, and I like that. It didn't try to bite off too much, that more than it could chew, and I was intrigued the whole way through. I have to say, though, the script, very serviceable and pretty mediocre. So it's clunky at times with the dialogue, but visually arresting, as demonstrated here in the trailers and things like that. So it's got a bold production design, stellar visual effects, and the aesthetic has got real shades of Blade Runner. So I dug that kind of thing, and some heavy science fiction themes here as well. I mean, the action to me was a little bit generic, despite a few innovative sequences. To me, the real heart of the story and the core of it was her coming to grips with the human brain and trying to figure out who she was and what her past is all about.
Okay, quick comment on the casting. I know there was a whitewashing controversy having Scarlett Johansson as the lead in this. The producer Stephen Paul said this isn't just a Japanese story; it's an international story. Was that a distraction? Did they make the right call with the cast?
I think they did. I mean, that's a segment we could do, for 10 minutes talking about the whitewashing. We saw this with Matt Damon in The Great Wall. The thing is, if you have a movie over $110 million in budget, you're going to need a Hollywood star attached to it, to lead the film. And I didn't think it was culturally insensitive watching the movie. I thought it really fit the story, and she's very formidable in the role, so I thought that worked fine. And it is more of a story about discovering who you are and looks at those kind of themes, of humanity versus artificial intelligence. So I thought her in the lead there fit that very well. And it's got a diverse international cast as well. You've got a Danish actor, Juliette Binoche is in it, some great Japanese actors, a British woman. So I thought they rounded out the cast very nicely.
How many hammers?
Doesn't break any new ground narratively, but a worthy addition to the genre. I'm going to go 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5 is where we start. Let's go family fare, The Boss Baby.
Okay, this reminds me of Storks, which came out last year as well. And Alec Baldwin voices a briefcase-toting, suit-wearing baby who teams up with a 7-year-old to foil the plot of a dastardly CEO. I liken it to Storks because it also has that kind of office corporate culture that some of the jokes will go right over the kids' heads. And it has this roundabout way of explaining how babies are delivered, essentially through courier that arrive to your doorstep. So maybe a little confusing for some of them. You may be explaining some things afterwards.
It doesn't happen that way?
But I have to say, the movie rests on Baldwin's animated shoulders because he is tremendous in this role. He's great in every single scene, and obviously channeling his epic performance in Glengarry Glen Ross. That is essentially why I think they chose him for this role. You've also got vocal talents from Jimmy Kimmel, Lisa Kudrow, Steve Buscemi. It is a shaky premise for sure, but sometimes endearing and always hilarious, courtesy of the great Alec Baldwin.
How many hammers?
I'm going to go once again, 3 out of 5.
And just for the kids or the adults too?
The adults are going to enjoy this one as well.
They will.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised.
All right.